Welcome to another powerful episode of Empower Her Voices Stories of Triumph from the Pakistani Nation, a platform where we celebrate resilience, leadership, and the extraordinary journeys of those who have shaped lives and created lasting impact. And today's episode is incredibly special because we have with us a woman whose work has transformed individuals, organizations, and communities. She's a name synonymous with leadership, personal growth, and empowerment. And her journey is not just one of professional success, but a testament to the power of vision, wisdom, and purpose. Shireen Naqvi, a mentor to mentors, a visionary who has redefined leadership and human development, and truly a powerhouse of wisdom, passion, and purpose. She has dedicated her life to empowering individuals and organizations to found their true potential. And she has spent decades not just imparting knowledge, but shaping hearts and minds, instilling resilience, and helping minds see beyond their limitations. With a phenomenal career spanning decades, she is a senior trainer at Carnelian and learning and development specialist and a management consultant. Her work has taken her across Pakistan, where she is widely trusted, loved, and respected for her empathy, wisdom, and ability to connect across cultures and background. She defines the essence of zikr, the Carnelian values of zeal, integrity, kudos, and renewal, and is sought after for her deep understanding of human behavior. Her expertise lies in personal development, visionary leadership, and emotional intelligence, using her extensive knowledge to build endurance in organizations. She has also led transformative programs in leadership, team dynamics, and cultural development, and has played an important role in shaping diversity and inclusion practices. As the founder of Amwad, she envisioned a platform that channels human development from the source to those who need it most. She's also a founder and advisor at the School of Leadership, an initiative that has empowered countless young individuals. And her journey is not just one of professional success, it's a legacy of impact carved through struggles, revelations, and an unshakable belief in the power of human transformation. And truly, from breaking barriers to inspiring change makers, from overcoming challenges to becoming the beacon of empowerment she is today, her story is one that needs to be heard, felt, and remembered. And a graduate of IB Karachi, her passion extends beyond her professional work. She's a traveler, an explorer, and someone who embraces the richness of diverse culture. And today, we don't just have a guest, we have a movement, a philosophy, a story that will leave you forever changed. And it is my absolute privilege to welcome Ma'am Shireen Naqvi to empower her voices, the extraordinary, the unstoppable, and the heart and soul. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Faiza. Bus karo. That's too much.
I
That's
truly
too
mean
much.
it, ma'am. It's coming right from the bottom of my heart,
Oh,
and you're such an
thank you. You're
inspiration
too
for
kind.
each one of us. And having you here is something that is going to stay with us for the rest of our life, and I'm always going to cherish this one. So,
Thank
ma'am,
you. That's sweet, sweet.
ma'am, talking about this series that we have started, it's actually a tiny little effort to create awareness and acknowledgement and motivation and inspiration for those young girls and women who wanted to pursue something, but somehow somewhere either they have barrier, either it's like mentally, physically, or they needed a push. And if we talk about our country, Pakistan, in majority of the rural areas, ma'am, you are the best regarding this. You know very well that there are barriers when it comes to this mental bit, and it starts right from the childhood where they're not being provided enough confidence, they're not being provided those platforms. So how do you think that the childhood can play an integral role while shaping those women, or how we as a woman, as a mother, can actually help our girls to pursue their vision, may it be in professional or personal life?
Oh God, that's such a vast question, Faiza. Now you're going urban and rural, and then you're asking professional. So for me, professional is also the woman who works in the fields. She
Yes.
stands there knee deep in water in a rice field planting. For 10 hours, she's bending and planting each husk of the wheat plant. And it is a sight to see when I travel through Punjab and I see this scene during the season of rice plantation and all the other times when they're cotton picking and then the professional woman of the corporate sector, education, government, you name it. Now, the thing is that if you go to a doctor, let's say Pfizer, God forbid, you are unwell, you go to a doctor and you the doctor asks you different questions to be able to diagnose your ailment, and then the doctor writes a prescription for you with 5 6 medicines, some nasal sprays and some vapor rubs and all kinds of things, and you are to take that prescription twice in the morning, once in the evening, thrice a day, this, that, and the other. You will. So that prescription is what you adhere to get well. Now that wellness, the formula for a good health, is written on
Right.
that one piece of paper on which you will go to and spend money on and time on and effort in the hope that you will get well. Similarly, it is in our society. Our culture prescribes a way of health for a man and for a woman the day they are born. From the very first, the language that is used around the child, not only as a baby, but throughout, and not even the words that are spoken, the non-verbals that go along with it, the look that a parent gives. I was a third daughter that was born in my house, and my entire family, the puppies and everybody, they were crying, "Ki teesri beti, the third daughter is born." Now, if I was the third son, or after two daughters, a boy was born, there would be mithaiyan batri hoti, and there would be a
So,
jashan, there would be celebrations.
yes.
And those are the voices that my parents loved me dearly. And what I am today is because of them, not because of the voices and the prescription of the culture. No, that didn't happen to me, luckily. Although I suffer from them deeply. Whenever I take a step forward, there are three voices, the narratives, the cultural narratives in my head are telling me, "गलत कर रही हो, तुम औरत हो." But it's what my parents told me, and the vast amount of exposure I've had in my life, and my own very deep belief, like you rightly said, the what did you say, unshakable belief in the human factor, which I first have to realize in myself. Only then can I make other people think about it. And that unshakable thing has made me jump into situations which would others would say, "Pagal ho, kya kar rahi ho? Are you mad?" So these three factors, those narratives are very, very strong. Now, for a village girl to be able to do that, what has changed Faiza tremendously is in this modern time is media. Now, I was born and grew up in Peshawar, and my class fellows, I was studying in the convent, and my class fellows were all girls, and they were so radical, they were so emancipated, the Pathan girls. But the
True.
families, they were stifled, they were like shackled in those thoughts, but they wanted to liberate themselves. They wanted azadi to explore the world, to explore themselves. But उनकी वो ritual एक लिखा हुआ जो prescription था कि आपने when you are 18 or when 16 you'll be getting married, and you know that entire prescription of a ritualistic life which has no meaning. There's no meaning in it. There is no love in it. And that's what parents are also used to, because they got married and they followed that prescription in their life and in their grandfathers and ancestral. So there is no love in our communities, in society. And you see it when you're driving. I've just driven 9 hours from Karachi to Sadqabad and back. What elegant
Wow.
and beautiful and gracious nemats, blessings Allah has given us on our soil. But what the
Hmm.
humans create, jitni buildings banai हुई hai, the shops, the buildings, they're all ugly. There's nothing beautiful
Hmm.
about or aesthetic about what we create because there's no
Hmm.
love. It is very true when it is said where there is no love in society, there is no beauty.
True.
So
True.
अगर एक मियाँ बीवी या लड़की लड़का हाथ भी पकड़ लें, oh my God, that's a sin. अगर एक लड़की
Yeah.
मुस्कुरा ले, मुंह छुपाओ, किसी की आंख में नहीं
Hmm.
देखना, आवाज ना तुम्हारी आए. You know, all these अब कहा नहीं जाता, but they are all over in our culture, in our society. And so we are ashamed of our voice, of our smile, of our eyes looking up. हम कितने गज भी पहन लें, दूसरे की आंख में जो स्टोरी है, जो फिल्म चल रही है, वो नहीं
Hmm.
चेंज हो रही. उस फिल्म की वजह से मुझे और गज पहनने पड़ते हैं. देयर इज नो लिमिट टू द नंबर ऑफ fabric that I have to put on to myself. And that sign is of shame. If you look up Wikipedia or
Hmm.
any dictionary, the meaning of shame is a constant feeling of humiliation. And if a woman goes through that constant conscious feeling of humiliation,
Hmm.
she will always remain a step back, at least one. In some communities, it's the man, then the cow, then the woman, because the livestock has more value than the woman. Now, my
Yeah.
answer could take into various philosophies and mysticism and wherever, but I'll wait to connect with your next question.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And you have actually linked it to the core bit from where it actually started. And this is something that at some point of life we all have experienced it, like being from this continent, being from this particular part, we all have counted. But then, yes, I agree with you that it's not because of those prescription, it's because of our parents who gave us the confidence that yes, you can do it, and you have your equal rights, you have equal respect, and that's why we are, kind of empowerment. We are the vocal voices for that certain thing. So further taking it to a next level that you have just mentioned, that what I have actually perceived, please correct me if I'm wrong, that we are always being judged on the basis of our actions, of our the way we behave, the way we are going to look at. So we as human are tend to make mistakes in our society. If it's a guy is going to make mistake, may it be of any sort, right, versus the same mistake being committed by a girl in different contexts, both will be evaluated or assessed differently. If we talk about the same scenario in a professional setup, if I have sent an email in which the tone was a bit firm versus an email sent by a male colleague in which the tone was firm, I just read a post yesterday on LinkedIn, that personal experience, that a girl said that same email with same content, I shared it. I was being told that you are being rude, you need to behave. So how do the women cater with these situations? I'm particularly referring to the one who are professionals working in corporate sector. So how do they, like, kind of deal with such situations?
Right, lovely. First of all, a clarification. I will not please at any point segregate how men are treated or how women are treated. The
Great.
prescription I mentioned for women is also for men. A boy is
Okay.
born and the prescription is there. Okay, he'll be the bread earner. He will be the
Yes.
rakhwala of the family. This, provide security to the
True.
family. So a man is equally burdened with that
Hmm.
narrative
True.
that being a male produces in our
True.
society. All right. Now, about how the judgment part is very true, and that is why most of us in our society, including me, are pseudo people in our society, because we
Yeah.
fear the judgment so much that we will do as people say instead of what my inner voice says is true. to be
True.
true to myself, because मैंने
Hmm.
अपने रब को जवाब देना है. I have to answer to my God. And if I am not true to myself, what will I answer? Because later I cannot say कि उन्होंने ये कहा था, these people said therefore I did this. That's not a good
Hmm.
reason. That's
Hmm.
no justification at all. But we live under it, and therefore our skin is something else and our inside is something else, and we
Something. True.
never get to know our core. What is our core? The Iqbal ki khudi, the self that Iqbal wrote about, and so many
Hmm.
other philosophers have written about. And my favorite philosophers are Schopenhauer and Kent and Hegel, and they've all written perfectly about the self. We never connect with that. खामोशी
Hmm.
में कभी कभी गांव की औरत अपने मटका सर पे रख के taking the getting water from the stream, she may reflect कि हाय I have got these desires, I मेरी ख्वाहिशात हैं, but that's it. That's a momentary pause and momentary kash, I wish
Hmm.
wali baat. Yeah. So similarly, now the example you gave of the email at the tone, for example, true, true, true. That is so true that we are. Now, again, I would like to give something different to think about. What we are comparing is on the same level. If a woman writes that email and the same email is written by,
Hmm.
yes, those biases are there by the reader and they will inflict this.
Hmm.
Accusation on the woman that you sounded firm, and this has to be, this is a mindset, this is a bias that has persisted over ages, which I'm
Hmm.
telling you is reducing is in intensity. Please,
Hmm.
women, my message to you is wait, wait and persist. Lage raho. Listen to
Hmm.
them. Yes, you are being wrongly and unfairly accused on that email. Had that been 5 years ago, it would, the accusation would have been much louder.
True.
I have been
True.
looking at these and hearing these bisons since decades, and their intensity and frequency, two elements have been going down because women are persisting. And yes, they
Yes.
will not just take it sitting down. That lady who's been accused of this should say, "Oh, really? Is that how it sounded? But how come?" And then discuss it. Look, here are the two emails. Mr. ABC wrote this, and I wrote this. How is the tone different? Please bring it on the table.
Right.
Discuss it. Make your voice heard, all right?
Hmm.
And be gentle with it, because it's not the man's fault or the reader's fault.
Hmm.
His narrative is unconsciously being drilled into him. And over the next 2 years, because our Gen Zs and millennials are loud about this, this intensity and frequency will reduce very quickly. All right? But please don't get ashamed by it. Don't step back. Don't get hurt. Don't get offended. That's the last thing. Because being offended will be a victory of those who are trying to offend you unconsciously. All right. Now, again, it's unfair in the sense that we are comparing the two things. For example, if I say, मैं इतनी अच्छी रोटी बनाती हूँ, मेरा मियाँ इतनी अच्छी रोटी नहीं बनाता, बेचारा
Hmm.
आदमी है ना. We're not doing the comparison on the right grounds. If I
Hmm.
can make a good chapati and he can't, because for centuries women have been making it, so it comes through environmental
True.
hereditary.
True.
Okay, although I can't
Yeah.
make a chapati still, I can, but it becomes a different shape.
Okay.
Now
Right.
you've got to if you want to compare, do it differently. If I can make a good chapati, maybe my husband can make a good salad, or maybe he can file my home papers better. uh,
Hmm.
we are supplementing each other. We complement each other. If both of
Hmm.
us just know how to make a good chapati, who will do the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then in my
Yeah.
home, my husband and I are completely different. I do the things that I'm good at. He does the things that he is good at. He's not good at what I can do, and I'm not good at what he can do.
Hmm.
And we have a fantastic home running situation. So women
Great.
should not compare themselves like that. It's
Hmm.
too primitive, it's too archaic to do that. Please compare you on much higher levels. I have goals. Other people can also have goals, whether they are men or women. Get out of the comparison field and reach for higher levels of professionalism and contribution.
Great, great. I totally agree with you that, but the way you have explained the narrative is quite understandable and relatable, that we need to, in fact, evaluate ourselves, not in comparison with any other gender. So, ma'am, if we talk about, you have just mentioned about self-discovery and you mentioned few writers as well. So, if we talk about the essence of how we as women or girls can connect with ourselves, there's this bit that, okay, so if you're 18, you're supposed to be done with this. If you're 20, you're supposed to be done with this. If 23, 24, kids, marriage, profession. So, what if, it's not important that a woman is going to find herself her true passion at certain age. I don't think so that it has to do something with the age. It's about your own journey, the way you are going. So there are like couple of queries which is there from different girls, that okay, I'm 40 or I'm 50 or I'm 30, so I just kind of got to know that, oh, I'm very good in writing, I'm very good in public speaking. But then if I'm going to pursue it right now, what will people say? Oh, you're just going to start now, your life is just ending. So again, that perception. So they said that we are quite like motivated to pursue, but then somehow at times we'll feel, oh, we'll not be perfect, or how we can go towards that, because they said we cannot ignore those voices. So then what's that motivation that can actually keep them going, or how they can go towards that part that they want to achieve?
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, now I heard this TED talk and it completely changed my paradigm about passion. Yes, I've heard even very elderly people say, "Oh, I'm still waiting to find my passion." About 60 ke ho gaye and
True,
they still haven't found their passion. Hey, so what have you
true.
been doing all your life, right?
Okay.
And I go to a lot of university seminars, and speakers are always saying and instructing and advising students, find your passion, find your passion. So this TED talk says, don't wait to find your passion. Do whatever you are doing, do it passionately. And
Oh,
that clicked
okay.
with me so much that all my life, whether I was a young child or a teenager or student in school or college or university, whatever I did from my heart. I did it passionately. I enjoyed it. I was in love with it. So, for all
Hmm.
those women, if you found that you're good at writing right now, so writing can be done in so many ways, whether you are a professional and doing an email or writing minutes of a meeting. If you're good at public speaking, doesn't mean you have to have a stage to speak on. Wait for the stage, मुझे मौका मिलेगा एक बड़े हॉल में with audience, and then I no, speak with the sabzi wala, speak with the beggar
Hmm.
who's at your car window. You can change anybody's life like that in the 60 seconds that the red light is going on. Use your talent anywhere, and you
Hmm.
know it now. It's the realization, wo kehte hain, when you can name it, you can tame it. So now you've named it,
Oh,
that you're good at writing, at public speaking. Now you can
hmm.
train yourself in it. But hey, you've always been good at it. Children are great public speakers. Children can get their, they influence their parents in so many ways and get their toffees and toys and everything that they want. We
True.
lose it because we are told bas karo, chup karo, maine keh diya isliye I've said it, therefore don't do it. That is the points, that are those voices we've got to get out of our head. Now, do everything passionately. Another writer who's influenced me greatly is Ian Rand.
Okay.
Ayn Rand's, I've read two of her books only, but they have just completely changed my philosophy on life. She's a philosopher of objectivism, which
Okay.
means do what you're born to do. Be selfish about it. उनकी दूसरी किताब है
Hmm.
The Virtue of Selfishness, कि खुद गर्जी नेकी है.
Hmm.
It's
Very different,
inspired
yeah.
to be selfish. तो वो कहती है कि अगर, and in Fountainhead, she talks about the story of an architect and how he just produces genius and because it's coming from his love and his soul, it becomes beauty. All those things that you mentioned in my introduction just before we started, all those things, Faiza, they were not my goal. I never meant to change communities or to change people or whatever you said. That's why I said, stop it. I never meant to do all that. I was just living my own deep need of giving
Hmm.
out love. I was
Yeah.
angry with Pakistan. I was angry with Pakistanis. I still am. About why don't they realize how brilliant they are? Why don't they realize how beautiful this country is? God has given us everything that we are going to get in
No
heaven.
doubt.
We've got on this soil. Pakistan is the
Hmm.
most beautiful country in the world. I've traveled by road
Wow.
in a lot of the
Oh,
world. This is
wow.
the most beautiful soil
No
anywhere.
doubt.
Why don't we see it? Why don't we use it? Why
Hmm.
don't we appreciate it? We've got the world's best beaches, rivers, mountains, rocks, stones, minerals, gold, and people. Sone pe suhaga. The cherry on the icing are our people.
True.
Super intelligent, but we don't use it. So the anger in me, all I do is every day when I sit down and do my work is to soothe my anger and to sprout my
Hmm.
love because I'm khud gharz, I'm selfish on getting my anger down and my love out. That's it. And whatever consequences happen, happen. I have
Hmm.
nothing to do with them. Yes, my goal is eternal and beyond my grave. And to this is to inculcate in people to share their love, to share their ideas, to give away what they know, to build people, to see succession, to see Pakistan progressing to be the best nation in the world. That is what I give out and ask people to give out. अब उसका मैंने नियत बांधी है छिक्का लगाने की. I've built the
Hmm.
intention, but maybe my
Right.
stroke becomes out or an ikka, 1 or 2 runs,
True.
not a sixer,
Hmm.
maybe a sixer. But every time I build my intention to do that, and that has been my childhood all the way. It's never been
Hmm.
different. As a teenager, when I fell in love, I was with my husband, with my work, my homework, with my career. It's been like that throughout. So my advice to women is don't say I want this money or this career, I want to go into marketing or finance. It's too narrow. If you build a
Hmm.
bigger, higher, go higher. Why do I want to get into marketing? So that I can get good messages across to into the market. Why do I want to do that? So that people are guided towards living a healthier life. Why do you want people to live a healthier life? Because I want to serve humanity. Ah, spot on. There
Hmm.
you are. That higher goal. Now see how many fields open up. You can go into finance, supply chain, production, anywhere you go, you're serving humanity.
Hmm.
The
Very
more narrow
true.
you stress yourself out because when you land up in marketing and say, "Hi, ये तो मेरा passion ही नहीं था." Then you
Hmm.
start shifting against. You're toiling and you're ad hoc moving around everywhere. But where are you
Hmm.
going with all that? You can enjoy everything under a much larger banner of not a goal or an objective, but a purpose. A purpose
Correct.
has meaning and reason. It has the
Hmm.
heart and the mind. When these two combine, तो फिर फर्क नहीं पड़ता चलता कि दिल कौन सा है और दिमाग कौन सा है.
Very well said. Purpose has heart and mind. Yeah, true. And I'm sure that with this advice, the young girls and women out there, I'm also reflecting it on myself that, rather than setting those goals, we should just work on our narrative and perception. We should redefine it or, retone it just to make sure that you have given a beautiful example of marketing because, I've worked in that field, so I can relate to it that rather than saying, oh, I'll make good campaigns, I would rather say how this message is going to impact the community or the people around. So it's
Yeah.
something very amazing. It's a treasure chest that you're sharing right now. So it's
Like
great.
I'll tell you, marketing, even advertising.
Yeah.
I switched from my tea brand to Vital Tea because Vital Tea's advertising hits the social core. If you've
Yes,
seen
exactly.
the advertisement
Gigi,
of
I've seen the
Vital
ad.
Tea,
True.
right?
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you see the दाग तो अच्छे होते हैं, that's a
Mm,
socially changing, narrative changing ad. Then there is this shampoo ad, Lifebuoy ka pe the mother is choti बांध रही, you know, and she says, जब तुम मजबूत होगी तुम कुछ भी कर सकती हो.
तुम कुछ भी कर
These
सकती
are,
हो. True.
this is the message. It's not about selling the product,
Really.
it's changing the culture so that people feel stronger. Whether it's a man or a woman, I don't care. It's for
True.
both.
Both,
But you have
yes.
to stand up for it. You see, my advice
True.
again, जब मैं हलवा पूड़ी लेने जाती हूँ सुबह, let's say, हाँ, sometimes on Sundays my husband and I enjoy halwa puri. So since I'm up earlier, so I go to get halwa puri. Now
Mm,
there's a long line of men standing there. I take my token, I pay the money, and then I stand in the line. Now the men say, आप ladies है ना, आप आगे चली जाए. मैंने कहा अगर मैं आगे चली जाऊं आपका हक मारूंगी. पीछे जो मेरे खड़ा है आपका हक मार. नहीं कोई बात नहीं. मैंने कहा नहीं, मैं नहीं, ये मैं गवारा नहीं कर सकती, मेरा जमीर दुखेगा. आप कह रहे हैं कोई बात नहीं, बट मैं तकलीफ में होंगी, मैं अपने को उस तकलीफ से बचा रही हूँ. So I'll
mm,
stand half an hour instead of the 5 minutes I could have done. But you gotta take a stand. If you want to have, ठीक है, हमारे माशरे में there is even playing field नहीं है. Like a woman cannot just go and sit on the back of a bike of a man riding
mm,
कि भाई वो
true.
स्ट्राइक हो गई है, ऑफिस से निकलो, बाइक पे बैठो और घर चले जाओ. A man can do that,
Mm,
but a woman can't.
true.
But hey, listen, I got my own bike. मैं साइकिल पे जाती हूँ, दफ्तर आती हूँ, धोबी के
Mm,
साइकिल पे जाती हूँ. I do all my carpentry, बिजली का काम, प्लम्बिंग का काम घर पे मैं खुद करती हूँ.
nice.
Why this differentiation between, and that's my parents' upbringing. You know, I never knew, मुझे बचपन में कभी नहीं कहा गया तुम ये लड़की हो, तुम ये नहीं कर सकती. I never heard this
Mm,
sentence. मैं उसी तरह
mm,
दरख्त चढ़ती थी, स्कूल साइकिल पे जाती थी, क्रिकेट खेलती थी, आई बी स्विमिंग चैंपियन ऑफ पंजाब, टेनिस चैंपियन ऑफ पंजाब, सब कुछ किया. मैं जब कॉलेज पहुंची, कनेट कॉलेज लाहौर में, देन आई हर्ड गर्ल्स टॉकिंग, यार हम तो लड़कियां हैं, हम तो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. मैंने कहा है,
mm.
ये किधर से आ गई,
ये कहाँ
where
से है?
is this
True.
narrative coming
Yeah.
from? And I looked at that narrative, but मैंने कहा कहा करो यार, पता नहीं किधर से आया. So now when I stand in the halwa puri line, my narrative of my upbringing is louder than the muashra.
From the Moscow,
Hmm?
yeah.
अब अगर उल्टा हो जाए, मुआशरे की आवाज ऊंची है, आपकी नीची है, then you have to build on your own voice and let it scream till this one goes down. Otherwise ये चीखती रहेगी तुम हकीर हो, शर्म करो, तुम औरत हो. ये चीखती रहेगी, दूसरी आवाज को लाके इसको दबाना पड़ेगा.
True.
और ये
True.
वाली आवाज कभी नहीं जाएगी क्योंकि ये हमारे मदरबोर्ड पे हार्डवायर हुई भी है, ये अनइंस्टॉल नहीं हो सकती.
नहीं हो सकती.
अगली नस्ल का सोचे, अगली जनरेशन का सोचे, उनको क्या आवाजें जानी है,
बिल्कुल
इसलिए
मैम.
अपना
I
नैरेटिव बिल्ड करें.
and you know, this is like almost for the first time that I'm hearing it from someone obviously as experienced as you, that you have beautifully narrated that it's not about gender bifurcation. It's about we need to be fair, we need to be honest, and then everything is going to go with the flow. So ma'am,
And
before that
consistent.
we consistent, yes, not just that it should happen just for one time and then again you're back to zero. I totally agree with you. So ma'am, before that we wrap up, although you know, this one podcast is not going to be enough to get, you know, as much as we can from you, but still, you have shared some valuable advices and experiences with us, and I'm sure that it is going to help the audience in different aspects of their life. So, ma'am, the importance of mentors, coach in someone's life, may it be a boy or a girl, how important it is, number one. And if somebody is, as you said, that if you think that you're good in writing or something, and I should just keep practicing it, so is it important to get someone as experienced in that writing field or whatever that field is? So, the importance of mentorship, how do you see it in someone's life who wanted to pursue something or who just wanted to work on their own self?
Zabardast, Zabardast. Again, beautiful questions you're asking, Faisal. So, yeah, and a book can be your mentor. Like I've quoted books that have changed my life. They can be your mentor. But for me, a mentor is very, very intimate. My mentors have been very close to me. And I've watched them and heard them. Not just कि एक घंटा महीने में बैठ गए साथ और mentoring हो गई. No, no, no. That is just advising, counseling. A mentor is somebody you can go along with. Uh, my colleague, one of my very brilliant colleagues, wrote a book called The Pakht Theory. And in that he said, जो गधा होता है ना, गधा उसके साथ छोटे गधे को attach कर दिया जाता है, and they learn the traffic rules and how till that छोटा गधा is ready to go alone. So that is, I've had great mentors in my life. Now, um, the problem with young people today these days is so thousands and thousands of young people I've worked with, and they all want मुझे guide कर दे, please मुझे guide कर दे, मुझे guide कर दे. चलो ठीक है, बताओ किस पे guide कर दूं. They want to be heard. They don't want to do the work. Not all of them. And my mentoring is all about action. दरवाजा खोलो, निकलो और कूद जाओ. But they want नहीं और guide करते. लेकिन because they don't want to. They just want to get off the phones. They don't want to get out their comfort zones. They want somebody else to do the action or sit on the phone and do the numbers, and they want to earn through that. Yeah, of course, sure, that's a great skill to have. But you gotta know, knock on doors. You got to ask people. I'm missing a part of your question. There was some other part. So mentoring is very essential, but the
Yeah, that's the
mentee
question. Yeah.
has to jump into action and have the confidence in themselves by watching the mentor, by reading, and mostly traveling. I encourage young people to just travel.
Wow.
Women and men in the workplace, please don't wait officially for a mentor to be ascribed to you. Just watch people around you, admire them. This person may be good at writing proposals. This may be good at writing reports. This may be good at making presentations. So take from them, talk to them. How do you do this? Teach me. Acha, your second part was about writing. So if I'm good at writing, how do I enhance that, right? So I may be good at writing, but I don't know. Sorry, I may be good at driving, but I don't know the traffic rules. See, so my driving is useless if I can't take the car out on the road and drive because I don't know the rules. Similarly, I may be good at writing, but there are some rules to writing which will
Oh,
bring it out and take it beyond. Yeah, bring it out
yes.
and get it there. Those rules are through training, then through mentorship. That's what is. So know your skills, know your strengths. I may be good host, for example. I may be good in the hospitality business, but I don't know the rules of hospitality. Yeah. So being good at something, having a
True.
strength needs to be channelized. And rules always put it in channel, yani narrow kar dete hain. Uni jaise petrol comes out of the earth and it's put in a pipe, comes into the car, and then the car gets its energy. Similarly, my strength has to be channelized through training till it becomes useful.
That's great. Like the way we always hear that channelize your energy. We used to say this to our teachers in schools that we need to channelize the energy of this child. So this is the same thing that you've just explained. It's great. So wow, wow, ma'am, what a conversation and what a journey. And today we just didn't
Thank
hear
you,
about
Faiza.
leadership and impact. It's about emotions, it's about struggle, it's about most importantly, it was about passion and impact. Everything that you have shared is somehow somewhere linked to passion, which you have said purpose, passion, purpose, and then the impact that we are creating for the people around us, despite the fact from which gender you are. It's not about that, it's about you're a human being to start with. And this is great. And ma'am, we and I guess thousands and thousands of people like me, we are really inspired by you and the kind of phenomenal work that you have done. And I'm sure that the
Thank
people who are going to listen to this, they'll get to know that It's not about those theoretical baseline theories which are going to define a person. It's about how humble you are, how keen you are actually to connect with your own self and then bring the best out of it. And this is what you truly stand for
Enthusiasm.
these things. You really stand for this
Thank you.
thing. And then ma'am, I'll always be thankful to you, and I'm sure that this
And
episode,
thank
this
you, my
prayer
dear.
chest, is going to serve as a kind of advice. Not just advice, it's like you have shared the actionable items as well. And I agree with you that we really need to work on actions. Yes, the guidance is there, but now just do it. We have to do it. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, ma'am, and for sharing your wisdom, your journey, and truth with us today. And your words will continue to inspire, empower, and
Thank
enlighten so many who are striving to make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear Mudafiz.
And to everyone listening, I hope this conversation has left you with something to hold on to, an idea, a feeling, a spark that pushes you to ride, lead, and empower others. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, keep believing in yourself to create change and impact around you. Thank you.